welcome to round 4, the Gwent Open post-tournament show. I'm your host, Pavel Burza, and joining us for this episode is the entire casting crew from Gwent Open number 2. So what we're going to do, we're going to break down the action from the weekend, talk about our favorite moments, and reveal some behind-the-scenes shenanigans, hopefully not many. Spoiler warning, we will be discussing the outcome of Open number 2, so if you haven't seen the VOD, be sure to do so. And yeah, that's it. So we'll start with the first question that I have for everybody. You can all answer, just try not to answer all at once. What was your most anticipated matchup for Open number 2? And was there a matchup that you were hoping to see day 2 that didn't happen?
As soon as the draw was announced, I was really excited to see Pireball Kirpeton. It had the potential to be like one of the finals, unquestionably, because they're obviously quite close. A little bit of a rivalry between them going to develop, and we ended up getting it in the very first series. So, well, rather second series, but yeah, in the quarterfinals, it was a really cool sort of series to watch.
Yeah, I had the same feeling, especially that when you look at when I did the draw show. And I looked at the top, it was so stacked that the bottom half, I was like, well, these are just new faces here. So it's going to be, it might be not as exciting as the top end. But I was excited to see Magpie once again. And I think he delivered. But I think we'll talk lineups later. So that's that.
Yeah, I think that top side of the bracket was definitely where the main attention was beforehand. You've got Pireball, obviously, up against Kirpeton, two very good friends. And because I'm friends with both of them or teammates, I don't know Kirpeton as well, but I knew Kirpeton wasn't prepping with Pyre and maybe feeling a bit left out. So a lot of interest on that one. And then Kuna Magpie as well. Kuna's a good friend of mine, but he's obviously never been in an Open before. So I was excited to see how he got on. And yeah, we're not going to talk about lineups yet too much, but Magpie just brought the sauce. And you're always excited for a nice deck when you see it as a caster. You're like, okay, I wish I'm casting that game, but unfortunately not. But yeah, what a deck still.
Yeah, Kuner was also, I think, highly anticipated, to see him, in an Open, because a lot of players previously just mentioned him as being the person that they prep with, and big shout out, and you never see the guy, but then he makes it to an Open, you're like, that's the face, that's the guy, perfect.
So for me, it was personally Magpie versus Pireball on day 2. That was the best, but not just because of the names, but because Kuner and Pireball brought exactly the same lists. So it's always interesting to me seeing how one person can beat another person, whereas another person can't, even having the same decks. So for me, that was the most spicy matchup we had.
Yeah, for sure. Especially Magpie's lineup was just, he's known for bringing Magpiles, but this time I think he went all in. I think he even mentioned in the interviews, I already qualified to World Masters. I can pretty much go YOLO for this one. And I think he kind of did, but what was kind of the thing that stood out to me is he can bring something that people think is, fun, mimi, but he can play those cards so well on such a level that it almost doesn't matter what the guy brings. He can still play top-notch, Gwenting with that. So that's crazy.
Yeah, his matchup knowledge is really good because he's got all of the experience with the crazy stuff to know how it plays into the less crazy stuff. Someone else has a day to prep with the lists, right? It was really interesting to see how he played that, tried to snipe certain matchups with the monster list that I know I'm going to face if I turn Gwent on right now. So yeah, it was really fun to see. He was so excited about bringing that list when I spoke to him. It was really interesting. He was like, you know what? I thought, why not? And I just burst out laughing. He was very funny.
I mean,
Ceely,
the other thing, looking at decks was Spelling Bee was the only person not to bring Northern Realms. He was in the last quarterfinal of the day, and he was going for this target Northern Realms kind of approach, which is something I'm a big fan of. If I was tomorrow going to be in an Open, I would do something like that. Just target something, try and win in the deck building situation. Don't try and outplay them too much, but it did not go well. I think, honestly, a bit of a heartbreak. He lost his first game against NR, and his opponent missed the siege, and he still lost. So obviously it's not gone too well for him there, but it's still always nice to see people being creative with the lineups. Obviously we saw Masters 1 this life coach approach of just bringing Lambert, and yeah, that kind of style is just something I really enjoy watching in tournaments.
Since we're kind of moving towards the lineup question, so who do you think brought the best lineup to Open number 2 apart from Magpie, which is our hard best one?
I think who were kind of the who was the big winner in terms of deck building was definitely Gandalf, and I think the list that really stood out in this tournament was the SK Rain. Kurpitan did bring it as well, a little bit of a different version, but that Rain deck was really tough for a lot of lists to deal with, especially considering everyone was kind of teched for Self-Wound Skellige with the Teshamuna swords. That target was completely missed. So I think Rain really was the kind of the shining deck in this tournament. And I think Gandalf really, well, he won the whole thing, so he definitely proved it.
Yeah. It is such a strong deck. I don't think it gets all the full credit that it deserves. Like even playing that against Rain on ladder, it's very punishing, especially to what's currently dominant. And I also feel like, everybody was anticipating Anar to be the strong one in this tournament. You can also see it from the bans. Everybody was banning that, so I'm not surprised that Rain performed quite well. But yeah, it was a solid choice.
Rain just seems to come up in these tournaments and just sort of only a couple people bring it, and it always does really well. So this Golden Necro approach as well, where you've got the mega scopes for the messengers, it makes a lot of sense. You've got the Defender, the Nova, and no Melusine, of course, which is one of the big losses. But if people are playing the sword and squirrels, this Golden Necro approach is a fun one.
I was about to say the same thing because only 2 players brought Skellige, I believe, and the one included a mix between Self-Wound and Rain, whereas Gandalf went straight up Rain and everybody targeted Self-Wound. So it was really funny to see that list actually going through all the way to the finals, and his Syndicate list also having Tin Boy in it. I was a huge fan of that, and Cirrus, Ingelken, Himmelfart. I mean, almost nobody brought that, so the fact that worked tells me that the prep made all the difference in the end. Not just the skills, but yeah, even Piable decided to ban Rain, which says a lot.
Yeah, the thing that I didn't like the most is that when I talked with Piable, I told him, what do you think about Scoia'tael and the current, Waylay stuff? And he's like, it's one of those decks that you have to bring. Is kind of like the filler, and I have the same feeling about Scoia'tael and his performance in this meta. So feels bad, man. But yeah, hopefully with all the Black Sun stuff, we'll be in a better state with Harmony coming in and taking names once again.
I mean, one thing with Scoia'tael is spelling being this target NR lineup brought Guerrilla Tactics Milva, which is really good at dealing with NR, but it just got banned, so we didn't get to see it in action.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because it's a pretty cool deck, but it's takes quite a big brain to pilot, in my opinion.
It does. Yeah. I've ended up with Milva on the board many times.
Same.
I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah, I think it happens to everybody. But yeah, they're playing on such a high level that it's even difficult for some of us to figure it out, especially for me, speaking from my own experience.
I want to add one point. I think a special shout out should go to Kuna, not for his choice of decks, but for his choice of hats that he wore in the interview. So yeah, just
That's
pointing out the YOLO
one.
cap. Yeah, I think that was quite the highlight, at least for me personally. So yeah, talking of that, I think you can now move into the next photo.
It's actually funny because I feel like the word YOLO keeps on coming back, and I feel like this whole Gwent Open was kind of in a YOLO state because to give you some behind the scenes, is a week before the tournament, we learned that our key people that are going to work on the production side can't make it because they're swamped with other projects. And we had to find an outsourced guy to help us and come in. And he came in on Friday, and the tournament was Saturday, Sunday, and he learned everything and was able to keep the whole thing afloat. And I was stressed to oblivion, but it just went so smooth. Apart from the audio issues on the first day, everything else was just smooth sailing. So I was really happy that we didn't have any major hiccups, and also there was one tournament platform hiccup, which is very good. And in opens, it tends to go the other way. What's going on in this photo? The photo in mention is of me and Ryan playing Flesh and Blood during the broadcast. Ooh, shouldn't have posted that.
That shows how calm everyone was and how well the Open was going, that you could relax and switch off, right? Let's go with that.
Yeah, it was funny because we tend to multitask whenever the matches are going on. I mean, all the heavy lifting is done by the casting team, which we have here. So all of you are doing the heavy lifting on our side. We're kind of buying a little bit of time, watching the matches. And also in between, me and Ryan decided to jam some games in between where he pretty much, I gave him my FI deck and he just destroyed me 3 times in a row when I was trying to be on the defensive side. So yeah, I blame Flake as always. Hopefully he's watching this for getting us into Fab. I mean, it's just another card game that we enjoy. And it's in paper, so it's good to just jam it in person. And yeah, me and Ryan probably are gonna jam it.
And there's not really a IRL Gwent game, so we jam Fab in real life and then play Gwent online. That's the combo. That's the winning combo. But at the same time, 2 things I want to point out about the photo. Right there in the picture, I can see that you've got 19 HP and I've got 18 HP, which I don't know how you managed to take a photo at the exact moment you were winning once. But just pointing.
There was one game where you were like, we were both down to like 2 or 3.
I know, it was actually pretty close.
It was
actually pretty close.
On the verge, but yeah.
Second thing is my expression. I feel like it looks a bit
away.
like I'm. it's like the hide the pain Herald, like. Yes. But I actually really enjoyed it. That's what I wanted to say.
Just to kind of also give you a little bit of behind the scenes, like whenever we're doing the production, we have people in the studio that are responsible for the line producers, the audio guys, and everybody kind of has their own thing that they follow. There's a lot of people following Formula One, so there was like Formula One playing in the background for some of them. I was watching Tour de France, of course, as the only one, because nobody wants to watch dudes in Lycra pedaling bikes around France and other countries. So, and Fab was also one of those things that we kind of did in between. Like we tend to do that. We tend to play, games. Vlad was jamming Gwent all the time, I think. Ryan, same thing. Yep. I think you were also killing it on ladder. So there was just, a little bit of everything. Since our kind of things happen at the beginning and at the end of the matches. So we had the in-between time to kind of do some stuff in between.
I was actually trying to get my public account back up to pro rank, and I decayed to rank, I think 15, so I was on my way. I was on rank 13, just jamming some relics, just get through the ranks quickly. And I thought, like, right, if I keep winning, you always get like 2 pieces of the mosaic, right, until you reach rank 7, I think. So I was confident, okay, just, I don't know, 2-3 more hours and I'll get there. And then I ran into a player that, first of all, ignied me for 30 points. And then they had a 60-point Iglesias finisher where I was like, what the hell is going on? And yeah, I lost. And I was quite... So shout out to the people that still actually have some really creative decks that took me for a spin on rank 13.
Yeah, it sucks because you don't get the higher you go, the less of the cool ones you get until people get to pro rank, and then they just jam whatever they want, and it's once again more creative decks and more creative stuff. Unless someone is try-harding, of course, to be top 500 or whatever. Moving on to Black Sun. Your favorite Black Sun card reveal this past week? Mine's Ceely's, hands down.
Yeah,
favorite one.
I've got to agree,
favorite
to be honest. It's brilliant. It's so good. Yep. I love that reveal.
Thank you, guys.
Every time I saw the video and we saw it like a couple times in the rehearsals, I was like just chuckling like a kid, like, this is so good. And you always find like little small bits in it, like the Snoop Dogg and some other stuff. It's so good.
Thank you. That means a lot. Yeah, I put a lot of effort into it. So I'm glad you guys liked it. I wasn't going to, but then I got an idea and I had to go with it. So I did a lot of editing and I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, and things to clarify for your reveal, Lionheart, do you actually sleep in a suit or not?
I don't know how safe for work it is to answer this, so let's say yes.
Okay.
Let's just say yes.
He sleeps in a suit.
Yeah, let's say I sleep in a suit, yes.
Yeah. And Thea doesn't eat cats, right?
No.
Oh, no, that one's true.
Oh, okay.
No, that was it was my turn to buy the cats, because we're on the same page and all that. I wasn't sure if I should put that part in or not, and I thought, screw it.
I'll go for it.
It was a nice ender, and then Speci's reaction was like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hadn't seen that one before, so...
Yeah.
Ceely's I'd seen when we were rehearsing, but that one came as a surprise, so it was a nice way to end it.
In terms of the cards or the reveals, anything that caught your guys, apart from also the reveal that was done for Renfi by Ryan, which was pretty much saying like what the card, is gonna be, and then this was like a shitty ability, and then after that we get the good one, and everybody's like, yeah. That was a nice troll, but I think some people in chat, they kind of like, no, they're joking for sure. And this is this kind of ongoing joke that me and Flake also keep on saying, like, whenever Dagon or Renfrey is added to the game, I hope the card, like he always says, like, I hope the card is garbage. I hope the card is garbage, so they can learn and not complain about stuff. So
my favorite card is Renfrey's Gang.
Ooh.
So it's like a 6 power, 6 provisions, and if you meet the condition of Renfrey, which is 25 units, it's going to thin the other one from your deck. Just looks like a very cool card, and obviously Renfrey from the first short story, and she's got a little gang with her, so very cool. They look very, very powerful thinning cards, but also they're like the Wild Hunt Riders on steroids, right? But like only for Renfrey decks, so they look very cool.
Well, I'm going to say in terms of reveals, I want to give Speci a shout out for really like fooling chat. It was so good to see kind of the live reaction when Speci was like about to reveal a mill card, and he was like, guess what? This card has nothing to do with mill. It was amazing. And chat was like panicking before that. I loved it. And also, I really liked, I think, normal life gaming reveal as well. That was really funny. He had like a secret folder of Sean on his computer, which was really great. And also Ellis for making the art to go along with one of my favorite arts released completely. What is it called? Dusk Aspect or something? I can't fully remember.
Lake Guardian, Dusk
Lake
Aspect.
Guardian, that's right. Yeah, exactly. It's so amazing, and Ellis made like this cool emote that you can use if you have BTTV. It's called Harmonica, if you want to try it out. So I really like that one. Yeah. And I think in terms of like favorite cards reveals, I'm just say in terms of art, and because I'm a huge fan of Scoia'tael and Harmony, it has to be the Scoia'tael scenario, the lock. But yeah, that
Mysteries
one. The scenario.
Of Luckfiend, yeah.
Yes, Luckfiend. That one's gonna be really cool and such a boost to Harmony. So I'm excited on day one.
Also excited for Chameleon, just off of the art of the Chameleon itself. That and Sir Scratch-A-Lot, those are like two really good arts. I just love, it's simple, it's just animals. It's not, we're not trying to be here anything crazy high fantasy. It's just so good, so good.
I think the card reveal by Laplace was also once again amazing. I admire his ability to edit because just as a disclaimer, we didn't give out any kind of PTR footage, so every like actual card gameplay that you saw was self-made by the creators. Like for example, Crozier made some gameplay himself, and Laplace as well. And he told me that it took him like 3 days just to edit that part, or like the gameplay. And it's an insane amount of effort and time spent into it, but it looks so clean and it's so nicely explained. I feel like if you ever implemented like official card explanation videos, for example, that would be the quality that I would aim for, because they're so well done. The seagull was also pretty nice, like the compilation of seagull videos stealing stuff. That was good.
Isn't that a Kafu now, I think?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What kind of deck are you most excited to try out when Black Sun releases? For me, it's easy. Harmony, right?
My first one was Harmony, but I want to play Eltabad Sir Scratch-A-Lot. Because I think that could be really, really good together, because you can play multiple cards per turn with that. I think that could be really interesting, and like pair the Cursed, proc Thrive, because it's already a 6 base power card. I think that could be really good fun. I think Eltabad as a card design is really fun. It's not on the face of it instantly, oh my god, this is crazy, but I do think there are going to be some fun decks that it might help enable, so I'm interested in that.
For me, it's Nilfgaard all the way. I want to go all out Cultist, and I want to put 2 Sonaras in the deck as well, Masquerade Ball and the Eternal Eclipse. I've already sort of theory crafted, and I think it works. Those Thirsty Dames are very happy with all the statuses, so I think that's what I'm doing day one.
Joining the faculty. That's the joke said. Such a good one.
No,
yes. Such a dad joke.
I want to thrive. I want to thrive it up completely. Like all the new Thrive cards. I love Thrive. It's kind of like Harmony. It's red Harmony basically. It's like you slam cards and your other cards just boop, 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 boop. And it's just so much fun to watch them grow and play bigger units. Which it's so satisfying to play.
I've got like 2 cards. One is Shoop artifact removal, might play a little bit of Rune Mage, do all those scenarios. And then the other one, which I think actually Ceely mentioned when I mentioned artifact removal, is Angerlem. Angerlem in Nilfgaard, copy all my opponent's cards, use their scenarios against them.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
There's one more thing. I want to play a quadruple leader ability deck with Renfrey and what's his name, Damien, where you can basically play your leader ability on turn 1 and then play Renfrey on turn 2, or maybe even on turn 1 after you played your leader ability, and then you play Rune Mage on the first turn, so you have a higher chance on your second turn when you play Renfrey to actually hit the cooldown 7 passive of your lead ability, because that means you've got it potentially twice more if you play enough cards. So I think there's a lot of leader ability options for that. Yeah.
Your favorite overall moment from this weekend can be a play, a matchup, or behind the scenes tidbit.
Fireball, self-heat wave.
It's gotta be in it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's on top of there for sure.
It was like Carpathan's face when he did it. Like it works out. It's the right decision, but it's just like 99.9% of people don't do it, and he knows he's ready for it. He's got nope. I absolutely believe in this decision. It's what makes him so great. It really is.
I mean, the 3-0 from Gandalf was probably the best moment, I'm going to be honest. I mean, there's no greater victory than beating one of the old ones, and it's so easily as well. But I always say it's like they're the most, old players are the most predictable. You get to study their moves. As casters, we get to do this. They have a certain way of playing, and old players can do this too. So as a newbie, Piable had no info on Gandalf and how he plays, and you have a distinct disadvantage. So I mean, that was definitely my favorite, even though I love Piable, but he will easily get where he needs to be with crown points and maybe a victory in Open 3 alone.
It was also interesting because he said in the interview that he actually wants to go against Gandalf. So he felt like he is the one on kind of the dominant, let's say, spot when going against him. So that's the one that had me surprised. And then I saw him like going like 3-0, and I was like, damn, this kid has a lot of like juice in him.
His matchup decisions were perfect though. The whole weekend, not just against Piable, but like we discussed, I was talking with Ceely about this, and he just made perfect decisions. Obviously, Paya did have some terrible draws, particularly that ST list. It really didn't like him, but just his decision on when to give himself a gap to pass to force the round length exactly as he wanted it, when to need control. He maximized every point, and it was very impressive, because obviously that you have to be great to get there, but a lot of the time you can make a tiny micro decision wrong, miss a point or a coin, and it's against Piable, you are in trouble, and he just didn't do that. And I think that was quite a surprise, and hey, fair play.
I also really like the play by Captain against Piable, where he pushed round 2 in I think it was the Nilfgaard mirror, because Captain had a spy in his hand as his last card and had filled his side of the board, and Paya then thought, all right, I have to catch up, played his leader ability double cross, and just found the spy, which he couldn't play because the opponent's side was full, so he kind of eliminated his opponent's leader ability there, even though he ended up losing that game, I think, in the end. So I think Paya won in the end, but still, it was a nice moment. And outside of the gameplay itself, I really enjoyed reading Twitch chat during the dev video, because there were so many funny moments where either chat was like, all right, this is a good meme, or this is a good meme, or they actually bought it. So I think that was just a ton of fun to watch that.
Like, then another moment is when Magpie puts down this she-troll and like lacerate and werecat, and suddenly it's like 14 points. Like, I've tried this card so many times, I've always just come to the conclusion it's terrible, but like a lot of the time you just play it and like you try and consume things, play slizzards. Magpie's like, nah, I'm gonna actually kill my opponent's things and boost it, and it's really cool to see. Like, so creative, because that card has not been buffed recently. Like, a lot of the time you'll see like new decks come out of the blue, but he's playing like Werecat, which hasn't been buffed in ages, and She-Troll. Obviously there's like a few cards in there, like Abaya, Wererat, AQ, which all got the buffs, but then like enabling these other like really cool decks. And Weavus, like the big Weavus card that used to be Ritual Sacrifice, it's now like thinning cards from the deck. Very, very cool to see that deck in action.
An old archetype. I recall playing that. I can't really, when it comes to chronological time in Gwent, it's all blurry in my mind, but I remember what deck I was playing in what area or room. And I remember that deck I was playing in a specific flat at university, meaning I was something like second year, meaning it was something like 2018, and that's the deck I was playing. It was the most fun. It was consume, and then you could play basic knickers as well, and they had this whole ability where they keep duplicating and duplicating and duplicating.
Gotcha.
Yes, and you pair that with the sheet roll, and it was beautiful. It's cool to see that still coming back and being viable. Honestly, it was interesting seeing it, making it that far.
Yeah, if you'd given me 100 guesses about what deck lists would have been brought, I wouldn't have put even half of that cards in there. So when we first saw that, just going down it going, huh? What? How does that doesn't... And then he wins with it. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Like Lionhart and I played that the day before to prep specifically, and it was like, I'd be like, well, I have a lock in this deck, and he'd be like, yeah, if you play the lock now, I just lose. And it was as simple as that, locking Araha's queen, or simply like stopping a combo from happening, and people didn't have it. He just got away with doing his thing. It was bizarre, really. Like even a well-placed Heatwave just totally destroys the deck. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to see people just didn't bring the right cards into the matchup.
Yeah, for me, from this weekend for sure, is everything working as it should. There was also seeing the brotherhood of, I think it was Pieball and Carpetan, like sending hearts to each other. Such a wholesome moment. Love to see it. Especially that, you know, these are two teammates, and like Pieball said, you know, it sucks to take down a friend. But yeah, he, like, you know, it's sometimes happens. Sometimes it's draws, sometimes it's just, you know, the way that we play. But it was nice. I like nice, like, wholesome moments showing that, you know, we're people behind these, you know, these computers, and that, you know, there's this friendship and brotherhood, which is also amazing to see. Which outfit that I had, which is weird to ask you this question on the behalf of myself, but I didn't write the script. Was better,
Sure.
day one or day two?
Yeah, sure.
Day one or day two?
Day
That's an
two
easy
all
one.
day.
Day
That's
two.
It's got to be day two for me.
But
Yeah, it was betterly fitted.
actually, day one, the shirt, and day two, the blazer.
Yeah, but they don't mix well together. But yeah, the
Yeah.
blazer was super awesome, was well fitted, I have to say. It was like perfectly fitted. And then I also saw the price tag on it, and I was like, oh, I ain't getting this for my closet, because I had this, like, I thought for a second, like, maybe I should get this one. It's like, but I never wear these, like, so what's the point? And I did this once. I got a jacket once back in 2017 during the first Challenger, and I kind of, that jacket is like 3 sizes too big right now, because I've changed a little bit since that time. So yeah, so much for that investment. I ain't doing that mistake anymore. Although once I got, like, when we used to do it in person and we had the stylist, I got really cool, like, pants from Zara, which I have till this day, and I always wear them for opens and stuff like that. So it's like a good luck
Zara.
trinket. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. Day one, the jacket wasn't my favorite one, to be honest. Although it had a nice color, but day two, the one, perfect fit. Like, I was really happy with that one. And with the shirt combo was really nice, because it was like a breathable shirt. And I hate wearing, like, fancy clothes. I love t-shirts and shorts. Those are like my go-tos. So you know, having a linen shirt is pretty nice, because it's like breathable and it doesn't feel like, you know, you're putting like this plastic thing on you. Lionheart, you probably love suits, so I mean, you sleep in one.
I genuinely have had over 100 in my closet at any one time. I gave, I think, about 70 away to charity last year, because after knee surgery I lost quite a bit of weight again, and I'm on my way back to 50 again. I love suits.
That's a
I
huge
adore
closet.
I have a effectively almost like a whole room that is just a wall of space for suits, and then another room that has the suits. So, like, I wear at least one a day, sometimes 2 a day for work, depending on how long the day is and if I stream. So I usually just drop 10 at a time at a dry cleaner. If I like a suit, I buy it 5 times, because then I can wear one a day and just drop them all at the dry cleaner at the end of the week.
Respect.
I really like suits. It's the only vice I have. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I have no interest in recreational drugs. Give me suits.
Did you watch the series Suits?
I did. And one of the very early jokes is about how terrible his early suits are. And I was like, they are bad. Buy nice suits.
What about you, Spessy? You're more like tracksuits, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm wearing the trackies now. I've got Adidas and Fila.
Respect. That's the good stuff.
Like, I was
Mate,
very
you're-
much like, as a teacher, rather than going for the blazer and like the iron shirt, I'm very much whacking on like a little jumper so I don't have to do as much ironing, you know? Like creased shirt underneath, but the jumper's on. And then sometimes it's a summer day and they're like, so what, you take your jumper off? Nah, it's fine. Keep it on.
Got to give you credit for the weekend, Spessy. Tie game on top.
Yeah.
Amazing bow tie. And then the proper tie the next day was gorgeous. Regal blue. Oh, really nice.
I actually
Love
robbed that one off my dad. I don't think he knows.
Hey,
Nice.
You won't miss it.
then the man, yeah. Hey, he's got good taste. That second tie was stunning.
I heard rumors that in-person cast you'd normally make things for the casters. Yes or no?
Yes. And in person,
This-
we have a
like-
stylist come in. Her name is Anya. She's really awesome, and she hooks up everybody with at least 3 to 4 options in terms of like what you could wear. You try it on in different sizes, and then she either if something doesn't fit or is too big, she takes it back, brings you the proper fit, and you try it on. It's really cool, and it's funny because whenever we did these in person, we would always change clothes in the CDPR gym because it was like the biggest place where there was just a lot of space and there were like proper changing rooms there. So we always did it in the gym, which was super funny and cool. But yeah, good memories from that. But yeah, you get a full and plus there's another person coming in doing makeup and stuff like that, which we also had back in the day, which is also felt really good.
Yeah, I missed that. I feel like the very first time I recorded anything in the studio was, I think, an introduction to a Gwent trivia or something like that. And I was asking Burza, so where's the makeup person? So what's happening here? She's like, nope, this is not an open. This is not happening. I'm like, all right, I guess I have to wipe my face myself or something.
Yeah, we have these like theatrical papers that take away the like, you know, so you don't shine, so they de-shine you. So that's the only thing that we that we have that's kind of left from that time before COVID. Penultimate question. Geralt is snoring like crazy in the background. Were you surprised by Gandalf winning Open 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we all were. Like,
It's Gandalf.
Especially with the final. Like, we were talking amongst each other in the production room. Like, this has been the fastest day 2 ever. Like, I think previously, because we finished like 9:30 p.m. CST, and normally we would finish way over 10, 11. And with the series going 3-0 super quick, like blazing through, I was surprised, but I think he deserved it. Like, he played super well. He had a great lineup, and I love like new faces coming in and showing the old dogs who's boss, and it's always good to see, and it's always a nice like story arc, which I personally enjoy.
I definitely echo that. It was always nice. Like, you look to the top half of the bracket, and a lot of people, we discussed it earlier, the top half is stacked, the bottom half's new players, and you kind of thought, okay, so whoever gets to the final from the top half, they're going to win. Is it going to be Pi? Is it going to be Magpie? Is it going to be Curb? And then someone from the lower bracket comes through and steamrolls. And I think that would have taken a lot of people by surprise. Perhaps they won't quite have the same expectations next time if the bracket ends up perceptively wonky.
Yeah, it was totally a surprise. And like I said in the beginning, like we're saying, like the top end of the bracket stacked, the lower end of the bracket not really. So like hopes weren't high there. But then once the game started, I think one of you mentioned like the way that he played throughout the whole and his kind of the decks that he brought to counter the other ones was just on point. Like he read the matches super well. Any closing thoughts? Anything that you're looking forward to when it comes to Open number 3?
I saw a tweet today that made me interested for Open 3. I'm not going to lie. And Ryan was tagged in this tweet, actually. It was Shaggy saying he might make a run for Open 3. I don't know if he was joking or not, but I would love to see that. Noticed a couple of veteran legends lurking around playing some Gwent in the last month on ladder or even on stream. And I think we might see a few surprising but not surprising names cropping up trying to get into Open 3. Noticed Tailbot stream play some Gwent. Noticed Colemon has been playing some Gwent. And I'm just looking around thinking, oh my word, we thought this lineup was stacked? Imagine. So that could be quite exciting to see how the next couple of months develop, because there's going to be a lot of people fighting for that spot now.
Prize money for this tournament was really healthy as well, so probably a lot of the people sitting on the sides are looking at that thinking, I wouldn't have to do that much to qualify, these guys that have been around for so long, like Cole, Tailbot, Shaggy, they've done it all before, so they can certainly qualify. And once you're in the tournament, all it is like a good prep, and suddenly you can, after a couple of games, you're in the finals. So.
And we only have 3 opens this year, so if they don't, I see this a lot where some of the players with a lot of confidence, rightly so, they just sort of wait until the end, quickly qualify, and then they go into the Masters where the big bucks are. And it's so fun to see. But yeah, they can't all make it into Masters, right? Unless you have a lot of crown points. So even if we see a whole Open 3 with like Tailbot, Shaggy, Colemon, or whoever, Paya again, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see those faces like pop up once again. Like you've been through so many tournaments with these dudes, and it's like seeing them once again. Oh, it's amazing.
On the other side,
I remember Shaggy and the first Open. Sorry to cut you off, Ryan. Like in person, that was crazy. Him like running back and forth, like late to his matches, and then just decimating everybody.
Well, I think just to balance it out, I think I'm actually quite excited to see which new players will arrive on the scene, because we saw that with this tournament as well, there were quite a few new people in the running, and Gandalf coming out of nowhere and winning the tournament. And I think it's super, super cool when nowadays we've got people playing the game that only, started last year or 2 years ago, and that are not here since the very first days of the esports scenes, and it feels very refreshing and very, gives me a lot of confidence that this esports scene is something that people enjoy, that still keeps on growing, and there's always new people filling in the slots if people get lazy at the top, so to say. So yeah, I think it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, I'm also excited for Open number 3 because of the key visual with Aridin. I can't wait to have like a full extended version that the artists do for it, and then have it animated, because it's one of those like arts that I just love of Aridin. It's just like badass on the horse, like going into action. It's just freaking amazing.
Yeah, shout out to the animators, especially to Maya as well, because also for the last Open key visual, they have to basically work with an artwork, a PSD or something of like the art, and then make more out of it and move things around. And like, for example, the cat in the last animated key visual, like it moved its ears and something, and it just gives so much life to this picture, which is just a picture. But yeah, shout out to those artists. Incredible stuff.
Thank you all, as always. Pleasure to talk to you. And if you enjoyed this show, of course, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as always,
the bell
to Gwentfinity YouTube channel for more Gwent and The Witcher action, such as On the Path podcast, Lion's show, So You Think You Know The Witcher, and my CCG show with Flake, Burza. So yeah, see you all after Gwent Open number 3 for another round 4. Take care, everyone.
Bye. Bye.